as we prepare to say goodbye to FC25 and hello to FC26. Speaking of FC26, a little competition for you in the next couple of weeks. If you fancy a free copy of the game, make sure that you follow me on my other socials, because some announcements are going to be happening very soon and winners will be announced. First episode of the Dorking Wanderers Career Mode. All my links in the description. Now, onto the sliders. Alright then, geezers, it is the last time that you will hear my voice when I'm talking about FC25. One last set of sliders just to get us over these next couple of weeks. The support on these sliders all year has been, I think, a beauty. I've loved you all. I've loved chatting to you all. So please make sure that you come back for FC26. It's going to be a big one. But what we're going to do, as always, we're going to run through the match settings, simulation settings, CPU sliders, and the gameplay settings. I'll show you my cameras as well, as I always do. Really quickly run through everything, and then I'll go into a little bit more of a deep dive. What has been the major changes? Not a lot, I've got to be honest. These have sorted us out for the last couple of months, actually. So they're still feeling really, really nice. So we'll go with match settings first. Of course, always half length is 5 minutes for me. I know people have got something to say all the time. I do 5 minute halves because I record gameplay, but if you like the longer games, these still work. I've tried them on shorter ones as well. Lower scoring, but you'll still be able to have a good time. I sit on ultimate difficulty, but these work for legendary and world class, I would say. Anything lower, then you might have to look for some new sliders, I've got to be honest. Player-based difficulty, I always have on, but competitor mode, I have off. And then the rest of these stuff, we don't really need to go through. Simulation settings then, so these are your gameplay settings. These are the things that are going to have major effects on the game. So wind effects on low, weather effects off. I really hope they've changed the weather effects this season. I really want to play with them on. I like the kind of the change up between game to game, especially when it's rain and things like that, balls skipping off turf, but this year it's not been great, I've got to be honest. So we'll go into the sliders then. So sprint speed for user and for the CPU is at 38. Acceleration, we are sitting at 49 for both. Shot error for the user is 65. Shot error for the CPU is at 56. Pass error for the user is at 60. Pass error for the CPU is at 57. Shot speed for both is going to be 48. Pass speed for both is going to be 35. Injury frequency sitting at 70 for both, and severity is at 25 for both. Goalkeeper for the user is going to be at 58, whereas the goalkeeper for the CPU is at 68. Marking is 58 for both of them. I think we've decreased that a little bit. Run frequency is at 23 for CPU and user. We've decreased that a little bit as well. Line height is at 58 for both, and line length is at 28 for both. Line width is also for both of them at 55. Fullback positioning 72 for both. Power bar for the user is at 47, and first touch control error is at 70 for both. CPU sliders then we haven't touched, but tackle aggression at 61, build up speed at 60, shot frequency at 63, first touch pass frequency at 45, crossing at 99, dribble frequency at 40, and skill move frequency at 72. Into the gameplay settings then, we have the custom preset. We go auto shots off, assisted headers off, and shot we have at precision. I've kept this the same the whole way through this, and it'll be the same with FC26 as well. Time finishing, shot you man. Auto flare pass off, through pass assistance at semi, lobbed through pass assistance at semi, ground pass at semi, but cross assistance and lob pass assistance both on manual. Pass receiver on at late, and precision pass sensitivity on high. We've got auto clearances should be off. Directional for clear assistance. Jockey assisted, and defending is going to be advanced defending. The rest of these I'll go through, but I ain't going to go into them because it's a bit boring and I don't really change much of them, to be honest. And then last of all is camera. So I sit on legacy camera. I'll go height 15, zoom 7, far side focus 10, ball tracking at 0, and penalty area zoom on 0 as well. So then, we're going to look at the simulation settings a little bit. Now, like I said, I haven't changed these too much, but there's a couple of little differences that I've made, mostly around the defending and the way that the teams are set up. So, sprint speed, all of these are exactly the same. I've kept shot error exactly the same as well. There's a big discrepancy between those, but there also is a big discrepancy between the goalkeeper settings as well. So, these have been explained in other videos, but I like to make it quite challenging in terms of scoring goals. I find that if the CPU goalkeeper is a little bit too easy, I tend to score too many goals. And exactly the same with the shot error and things like that. If the shot error is too low, I just find that I'm scoring way too many goals. It's too easy for me. Marking has changed a little bit. I think it was around 60 last time. I found that I wasn't getting as much kind of time and space and things like that. But with it being 58 still quite high, it means that you can't just fire balls into your striker's feet and turn. The players kind of get up your arse a little bit and really put pressure on you, which makes that a little bit more difficult. So realistically, what I play is a lot of kind of attacking midfield or runs from deep. I play a lot of wing play as well and crossing and things like that. So I find that these make for a realistic game, a tough game, but also you can really hurt teams on the counter, and that's where I like to play counter-attacking football. A lot of kind of transition stuff, which kind of leads into the rest of the settings that I'm going to be touching on in a second. Now, going into run frequency then. So I'll drop this down a little bit. I was finding that teams I was playing, and me, to be fair, to a certain extent, I was finding that the gaps in the defence was a little bit too much. Again, in transition, I was finding that players were out of position a little bit too much. So by decreasing this a little bit means that they stick to their positions a little bit more, defensive shape, and the shape of my team was a little bit more rigid. And then obviously I can change things by kind of changing their roles within the team and when I wanted them to run. You can also change where they run with the green arrows and things like that. I need to get better down with that, to be honest, because I'm still not great with it. So if anyone in the comments knows how to implement that into your gameplay, let me know, because I'm not the fountain of all knowledge. I never told you that I was, but actually I might need a little bit of a tutorial on that from one of you now. So line height then. Now I have decreased this, which means that they will sit a little bit deeper. Now I played a couple of games with these sliders in the actual career mode, but also kickoff as well. And I found that teams seem to be sitting quite deep for the first couple, so I messed around with it a little bit. And then I think I changed it up to like 62 maybe. And all of a sudden, teams were just completely like running at us, pressing us. It was really quite high. And then through balls in behind were being far too easy. I'd say for both teams as well, to be honest. So I dropped this back down to 60. Found that they were quite deep, but actually that through balls were still too effective. So I've actually dropped it down to 58. So going into line length then, we've shortened the line length. Again, it talks about how stretched or compact a team is. Now, I've always flirted between, I'd say 35 and 25 this year. I think at some points we went as low as kind of like almost 20. That was too compact, and what I was finding was the gaps between defence and midfield, and then maybe midfield and strikers at times as well, was too big and was too stretched. So looking at around maybe 30-35 was feeling really nice. I've dropped it down to 28, again a little bit more compact, but not as low as 25, I would say. So 28 feels really good, quite compact. Still a lot of kind of work and play is happening in that midfield third, but in the major sim game that I played between Betis and Nice, I found that the two computers were working quite well together, and it looked like I was actually watching a match that you'd see on the TV. So 28 is feeling really nice in gameplay, but also feels really nice if you're just using tactical view as well. Line width then, I've upped this maybe to 55. Again, doesn't really change too much, but again talks about how stretched and compact it is across the pitch from touchline to touchline. And like I said before, I play with a lot of wing play. I feel that a lot of my work, and attacking work specifically, happens in the wide areas, and I was finding that it was actually too easy to get space. There was a couple of times when I'd use like kind of switch balls and things like that, and they maybe were working a little bit too effectively. I was getting too much time and space out on the wings. So by stretching the game a little bit more, stretching teams a little bit more, means that you're locked down a little bit more. You still get your time and space if you work it well, and you kind of use a quick ball out wide, or you shift the play, but it's challenging, and that's what I want. I want it to be challenging. I don't want to find a glitch or somewhere where it's too easy. So line width at 55. Fullback positioning, I've dropped down. Again, kind of goes in with the run frequency. I was finding that players were out of position too much, specifically my fullbacks, because they were bombing on. Again, within the game that I play, or the teams that I play, I like to use wing backs or attacking wing backs at times, and then have my defensive centre midfielders kind of go out and fill in, or your centre backs to come across. But still, I want the game to be quite rigid and quite kind of regimented. So 72 feels quite nice. They're still quite high, but they're not going to get kind of pulled out of position as much. You'll still find that you get caught out every now and again, which is realistic, but you're not going to get it as much. So 72 feels quite nice at the minute. And that is it. That is the end of the explanation for the sliders. Like I said, not too much changed between now and the last set of sliders, but I thought we'll give it a quick refresh. We'll see how the game's feeling and going, and I did feel that there was a need for just a bit of a refresh on the slider. So not massive changes, and you do find that towards the end they stop kind of updating the game as often and as quickly and things like that, and they're obviously focusing just on 26 now. So I feel we're good for the last couple of weeks, lads, and that is it. It's been beautiful, like I said before. The sliders will continue in FC26. It's a big focus for me. I know I get a large amount of my audience come through with the sliders videos, and I really appreciate the comments that I get. I appreciate the negative comments when they're done nicely. Don't get silly with it. Don't call me an absolute cretin or something like that. But tell me what works for you. If these don't work for you, that's absolutely fine. You tell me what does and what to change, and I might try and implement them in the next set. So I really appreciate the positive comments as well. I love the fact that these sliders work for you lot and make the game more enjoyable and more fun. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to be a kind of a soundboard for sliders, and I love it. I love my role in the YouTube sphere. But as always, geezers, it's been much appreciated for all the love and support this year. Like I said, I will be coming back for 26. I love the game. Do you know what I mean? I love talking. I love playing. I love messing around with sliders. I'm a bit of a nerd in that sense. But it's much love from me. I will see ya in a couple of weeks' time, and peace to all of your mums and all your dads. If you've got siblings, I don't really care about them, to be honest.